And also switching from one stick to another it really doesn't feel any different. Button layout wise, it's exactly the same, so it's a full size sort of Vuelix style layout. Hello and welcome to another NihongoGamer video. As you know, on this channel I've been playing a lot of Blazblue cross-tag battle. But there's one product that I haven't unboxed that's related to this series, which I'm very excited to show you, because usually I would play Blazblue on this. This is my general, I have a Razer Pantera as well, and I use them equally, but these are the sticks that I use on my PS4 or PS3 when I'm playing fighting games. But I saw this in the shop, and I don't know if it's available anywhere. I don't know really where it's available, but I just know that it's available in Japan. This is a Blazblue cross-tag battle arcade stick by Quanba. It actually has this design here on the stick, so it actually looks pretty cool. It goes for 11,070 yen, which is something like $100. So by arcade stick standards, it's actually not too expensive. But the thing about this stick is that it's gonna be quite a bit smaller than the TE2, because if you can see, this is the TE2. Not in the box. This is an arcade stick still in the box. If I take this out of the box, you're going to see that it's actually going to be quite a bit smaller than the TE2. I'm really keen to see whether this is going to be like the ideal first stick for a person, because although it's not really as large as these ones, I actually prefer these large sticks because they sit on your lap really nicely. So it's going to be not as large as a normal stick, and it doesn't have the Sanwa stick and Sanwa buttons built into the Sanwa joystick and the Sanwa buttons built onto it, but I think it might be an ideal first stick. Let's see how it plays. Now we're going to unbox it. I'm just going to pull this plastic off the side so you can actually see the box. I don't know why they put that on there. So on the front of the box we've got the cover art for Blazblue Cross Taggle. You've got Ragnar, Ruby, Yu, and Hyde. Here, these sort of the main characters for their respective games, because in Cross Tag Battle you've got Ruby characters, Blazblue characters, Undernight In-Birth characters, and Persona 4 Ultimax characters. Plus, on the back we've got a few more pictures here, but I don't think these guys are actually on the stick. I think on the actually on the stick, not only do you get Ragnar, but you also get Jin. He's actually partially in the image, but I can't remember actually what it looks like. This is the image that they show us here. You can see on the side of the box, it shows you a little bit like what the actual stick is going to look like. On the bottom of the box, there's a cool picture of Ruby and Hyde, and on the top of the box, you've got a picture of Ragnar and Yu from Persona. Now it's a stick designed for the PS4 or for the PS3, but it looks like here on the information here that it might possibly work with PC. It says if you're plugging it into a PC, put it into PlayStation 3 mode before you set it up on your PC. So just give you a quick close-up, you can see the back of the box. It's got a picture of the stick, all the buttons that are on it. It's got Quanba buttons, Quanba lever, and a Quanba joystick ball, whatever that's called. Ball top, that's what it's called. It's so cool that it's got the characters on the bottom, on the front, and on the top of the thing. And plus, it's got a carrying handle, so if you actually don't have a case for your stick yet, but you are going to a tournament, you could actually just put it in the original box and carry it around like this. I think you'd look a little bit crazy, but hey, let's go ahead and unbox it. So it opens up like a briefcase, like so. Ooh! I thought there was a design on the ball top, but it's actually just like the sticker that goes on top of it. Let's chuck that over there. Don't need that. Don't need that. Oh, it actually fell back in the box. Go away. This is the instruction manual. Let's pull this out. This always happens. I always end up in the box. Let's just chuck that over there. And there is your Blazblue Cross Tag Battle. It's kind of like an official arcade stick, or an official low-cost arcade stick with the Blazblue. Ooh, that looks so cool. And the most striking thing is how small this is. Compare that to the Mad Catz TE2. It's significantly smaller. So here on the front of the stick you can see actually there's 2 characters per game. So you've got Hyde and Linne, you've got Ragnar and Jin, you've got Persona, sorry, you got Yu and who's on the back? Yusuke, I think? Ruby and Vice. So there's actually 8 characters on this stick. I actually thought there was only going to be the 4 main characters, but I'm pleasantly surprised. Now you've got obviously the Quanba stick. Let's see how that feels. Okay, it feels cheaper. It feels cheaper than a Sanwa stick. The buttons feel cheaper. They're pretty loud as well. They feel cheaper, absolutely they do feel cheaper, but who knows, it may feel perfectly fine to play with them. These buttons here on the top, they're not as clicky as I would like them to be. So we've got all the standard stuff, the PlayStation button, you've got the PS4, PS3 switching button, you've got a lock switch to make sure that, you know, in a tournament, you don't accidentally press the PS button, which I have seen happen in tournaments recently, so you want to be sure that whatever controller you're using, ideally you want to be able to lock that PS button away. It also has a turbo mode. I really don't know why they have turbo functions on these sticks, but apparently people are using them. Design-wise, I am super pleased with the way it looks. I think they found a very tasteful way to arrange these buttons so that you can still see your character's favorite faces, because even on these like official sticks, they sometimes put the joystick lever right in the middle of someone's face or something. It's like, how careless do you have to be as a designer to like put the lever or the buttons right over someone's nose or someone's face? And I don't know, it kind of grinds my gears a bit. So anyway, that's the front of the stick. This is what it looks like on the front. Absolutely nothing happening on the front, which makes me wonder where oh, here it is. So the cable actually comes out the left side of the stick. Okay. Oh, that's a cool design. Okay, so I've never had a Quanba drone before, but I really like that it's got this hole here, because actually you can just slide all this in here without any of the faffy nonsense of opening up the stick with the button, like pulling it open like a DeLorean, because on the TE2, even though this kind of looks cool at first, hold on. Here we go. This kind of looks cool at first, opening it up so that you can put all the cable stuff in here, but it's actually a bit of a hassle. I would much prefer not to. I would prefer to not be pulling the cable in and out, because every time you put a cable, you know, every time you plug a cable in and out of a port, I think the port gets a little bit worn down. But with this, you don't actually have to remove the cable. In fact, you can't remove the cable. So this is one thing that could be bad, but could be good. The fact that it doesn't remove means that it's been designed so that you don't have to remove it. But the only problem is that if it were ever to break here, you'd have to probably solder on a new cable. And unless you're familiar with that sort of thing, that could be kind of a bother. But at least with sticks like this, it's actually designed to come off if I pull this nail here, screw, whatever that's called. I'm going to show you how much cable length you get, because I know that some people like to recline in their lazy boy recliners far, far away. Uh-oh. This does not look like a very long cable. Alright, so this is how much cable you get with this arcade stick. It looks a bit like 2 meters. Yeah, it doesn't say how long the cable is. Whatever, okay. It looks so cool. I'm really excited about this. So just give you another close-up here of the stick. You got Hyde and Linne here on the front, and actually it's got the Blazblue Cross Tag Battle logo right here in the corner. Ragnar and Jen from Blazblue. You and Yosuke? Oh, not Yusuke. Yosuke. You and Yosuke from Persona 4, and also Ruby and Vice from the Ruby anime, RWBY. And it's got the Arc System logo, Arc System Works logo here in the corner. And the Quanba logo as well. Now if you're concerned about Quanba as a brand, I know that they make very professional sticks that even, you know, the tournament pros a lot of them use Quanba sticks. As far as I know, the pros aren't using Quanba sticks with Quanba buttons. They're using Quanba sticks with Sanwa buttons and Sanwa sticks, or, you know, Hori Hayabusa buttons and Hayabusa sticks, whatever it is they wanted to use. So this is the first time I've ever used Quanba buttons and a Quanba stick, but it feels like it's gonna be just fine, so let's go ahead and try it. Alright, I'm all set up with the Quanba stick. As you can see, it actually sits on my lap, kind of in the middle of my legs, and if I were to push my legs in, I can actually have the stick completely supported on the top of my lap. But if I put my legs, in general, I think it's going to be more comfortable to have it in the middle here. So it actually sits kind of on this part and this part, the sort of inner parts of your thigh. So kind of like in there somewhere. I'll just show you the Mad Cat. The Mad Cat sits right on top of your lap. Whether you have even if you have your legs like quite spread out, it still sits kind of on top of your lap because it's just a wider stick. So just comfort-wise, I have to say that it feels fine so far, but it's not, you know, at a comfortable, having my legs spread out like this, it's actually, you know, not sitting 100% on top of my lap. Let's go ahead and play a bit of Blazblue Cross Tag Battle. Now I'm just going to go into a bit of training mode, shall I? Now the button feels fine, the switch, everything feels fine so far. It's a little bit clickier than I'm used to, and it feels hollow, it feels light, not solid. Like it doesn't feel like it's tightly screwed together as much as you would find on something like a Sanwa stick. But that doesn't mean that it feels bad. Character preset. Let's make sure I got the right music. Alright, let's see how it feels. So, directions are fine. Let's go around in circles. Oh. Okay. So all the directions work fine. Give can be nice and fast. I can do my instant air dashes, which I just discovered recently. You can actually just press up and 2 buttons. That's so disappointing because I thought it was going to be more. I'm so disappointed that instant air dashes are so easy in this game because I kind of spent quite a long time trying to figure out how to do instant air dashes with the stick. But if you are interested in playing games that aren't cross-tag, that need to, you have to do the normal motion to do your instant air dashes, then rest assured that it does function just fine. Now let's try out my normal buttons. Oh man, this is fine. Interesting. Alright, so all my buttons work fine. I've got A, I've got B, I've got C. Now where is my touchpad? Do I have a touchpad button? I don't see a touchpad button, let's see. Okay, so this is an issue for me. There's no touchpad button on this stick, so it's acting a bit like a PS3 stick and you're just going to have to map it differently. But as far as I know, games like this you can actually change the button settings so you don't need the touchpad. So reset positions, I'm going to set that to R3. Okay, so this Quanba stick doesn't have a touchpad, so I thought that was going to be a problem at first, but most games, as far as I know, you can actually set it to a different button. So for something like this, I can just set it to the R3 button or the L3 button. If you've ever played cross-tag, you also know if you press down and forward at the same time, you can put yourself in the corner. Press down and back at the same time, you can put yourself in the other corner. Press down, you can put yourself in the middle. So no problem not having a touchpad. But if you need a touchpad for your games, then this may not be the stick for you because I don't see any way to emulate the touchpad on here. Now, just going to test also here, there's a lock button. Push that to the top. The PS button does nothing. R3 still works, but options and PS no longer do anything. The share button, interesting, even the share button no longer does anything. Switch that off, and then you can do your normal things like going to the home menu. So let's see how it feels to play. It's really loud. Maybe if I just stop slamming the buttons so hard. Okay, so maybe it doesn't sound like other sticks, but it basically feels very, very similar to every other stick that I've used. I'll try to be picky where necessary, but this stick, it just feels like a light, sort of cheaper stick, but it does 100% does everything you need it to do. It's just louder, that's all. Yeah, everything seems to work just fine. I can double jump, I can super jump, I can instant air dash, that's no problem. And actually I'm quite comfortable with the way it is now. It's like, it's not actually 100% on top of my lap, but actually I'm not finding that to be a great big issue. Now one more thing I want to try, I'm just going to move my microphone over here so that you can actually hear the sound of both buttons, but if I just press these buttons like this, it's quite loud, isn't it? If I press it over here, then if I double tap them as well. And as far as I know, the microphone is equidistant between the two buttons, so I'll just try again. If I hold this stick up to the mic, you can hear it like this. And if I hold up the Mad Catz to it like this, it's a very, very different sound. So this is what it looks like from the top view. Let's go ahead and try another few things. Let's try playing it without smashing the buttons really hard. Oh, so check this out. It's actually significantly quieter if I don't mash the buttons so hard. I hit the buttons pretty hard. I know I shouldn't, but I press them pretty hard like this. But actually you can play them quite quietly like this. And it's not too bad. So I'm going to do this combo the way I normally press the buttons, and then I'm going to do the same combo with the buttons being pressed slightly more lightly. Now let's try that with light buttons. So you can actually play this very, very quietly. If you just have a little more discipline, it doesn't have to be super loud. It's just that I press the buttons really loudly. The quietest I can double tap these buttons, it sounds like this. I can't do it any more quietly than that, but if you're just pressing the buttons very, very lightly like this, really very, very, very quiet. I actually quite like this stick. It's nice and clicky. I know that's a super technical term. So this stick's about $100, but there's another stick called the Hori Fighting Stick Mini 4, and I've got a separate video that you can go and check out where I tried that. But the thing about the Hori Fighting Stick Mini 4 is that the stick on the Hori kind of dies after time. So after you've been playing with it for I don't know how long, eventually it will stop registering down inputs or left inputs. Certain inputs will just stop working unless you push it really hard, and that's not really what you want. This is day number 1 for me with this stick, and I have not had a chance to use it over a long period of time. So what I'll do is I will try and make another video in about 3 months time. I don't know how much I'm going to use it, but I may use it, I may try and use it more often, just so that I can see how well it wears down over time. I don't think it's going to be my main stick, but only because I've got another stick with Sanwa buttons in it that I quite like. But I will be giving it a bit of a stress test over the next few months, and then I'll try and make another video. Just remind me in the comments that I said I was going to do that. So hopefully this gives you a better look at how much space it takes. This is my lap. This is where it's sitting, kind of in the middle. I think it's kind of nicer to have it a little bit closer to you. Something that is nice about this stick is that it's got this edge here, so that's nice and comfortable for your wrist. I think that's quite important. I mean, obviously it depends on how big your hand is. Like, my hand is the perfect size for this because my palm can rest here and I can still reach the buttons. For some people it may be, and it might be actually on your wrist, not your palm. So far, I have to say, I'm very impressed with this. And of course, one of the really nice things about this stick is how incredibly small and light it is. I mean, check out how small and thin. I wish all sticks were this thin. I really don't think they need to be super thick. Like, this is super thick. This is nice and thin. It would be really cool if there were a way to like pull this stick off and actually store it somewhere else, because then it would be completely portable. But I do know that there are mods. I don't know if this is a moddable stick, but if it is moddable, then I would probably go and get one of those, you know, removable sticks, because if I'm going to a friend's house, I'm just going to bring this one because this is way, way smaller. Essentially, if you want a stick because you love these characters and it looks cool, go for it. Also, it's nice and portable. Also, it's got a lock switch. This is an ideal backup stick, I guess. Maybe if you're at home and you don't need to be portable, then you don't have to go for a smaller stick. But if I were to bring 2 sticks somewhere, I would bring like my main stick and I would bring this one. Absolutely, for sure, no problem. And also, switching from one stick to another it really doesn't feel any different. Button layout wise, it's exactly the same. So it's a full size sort of Vuelix style layout. Just judging by eye, it looks like the button layout is exactly the same. It doesn't look like the spacing is any different. I really can't tell exactly right now. So moving from one stick to the other should be very, very simple because it's almost exactly the same. Is this ball different? No, it's the same size ball and everything. So that was the official Blazblue Cross Tag Battle designed arcade stick by Quanba, in association clearly with Arc System Works. I think it looks amazing with this artwork. Essentially, the main reason I wanted this was because I have fallen in love with this specific game. So having an arcade stick designed with this artwork built onto it looks really, really cool. And as a plus, it's super thin, it's super portable, the buttons are actually incredibly responsive. It doesn't feel exactly like Sanwa buttons, but I really don't feel like there's any detriment to the gameplay by playing with these ones. Like, it feels louder, it feels a little bit cheaper, but the gameplay itself, once you forget that you're playing with this stick, once you put your headphones on, you don't really think about the fact that you're not playing with a Sanwa stick, but it depends. How much do you really care if you're playing with a Sanwa stick or not? I don't know though. Sanwa sticks do feel quite nice. And in addition, it also comes with this super beautiful looking box. Now if I just hold it up like this, you can actually see that the artwork on the front, the top, and the bottom of the box, kind of folds out like this, so you can even make yourself a nice little poster if you want, but I'll just fold it over like so. You can actually kind of use it like a carrying case because it does have a handle, and actually unlike the other boxes that have a handle that I've seen so far, this one's actually nice and small, so I'd be quite happy to put an arcade stick in a box. Look at that, it's like pittari, right? It fits just in the box. It's like the perfect size for this box. Works on your PS4, your PS3, and apparently works on PC, but I haven't had a chance to try that yet. And again, for a stick of this price, I'm quite impressed that it's got a lock switch. That's quite amazing for a price of the stick of this price. But I guess all Quanba drones, I mean, this is not a new stick. Quanba drone is a model that they've been doing for a while, so I assume that everything about it is the same as what we've seen before. But anyway, I just love this stuff. Like, it's even convenient, you know, when you're done with the cable, you can just poke it in here. That's really nice and convenient just because it's got that little slot right there. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, share the links and all that great stuff. And especially since we've been doing a lot of live streaming recently, definitely check NihongoGamer out on Twitch, because recently I've been streaming, well, mostly on weekdays, but on the weekdays it'll be something like every day for a few days in a row, so definitely check out. We've been playing a lot of Blazblue cross tag, recently been playing a bit of Guilty Gear, a bit of Blazblue Central Fiction, and I really would love to get back into Street Fighter 5, so look forward to streams of all those games and more. I'm actually thinking about branching out into drawing videos as well, and also just other games that aren't fighting games either. Lots of things that I really want to do with Twitch and live streaming. And also let me know if you'd like to see me do some live streams here on YouTube as well in the comments, because it's a very different atmosphere to do a stream on YouTube, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. It is quite loud, isn't it? Okay.